Hi everybody and welcome to BrickVault. I'm Keith and today we have a brand new LEGO Star Wars set, the Imperial Assault Hover Tank. This set is recommended for ages 7 to 12, it's number 75152, and it comes in at 385 pieces. It looks like it comes with 3 separate minifigs, the first being what I can only assume is pronounced Chirrut Imwe, and then 2 Imperial Hover Tank pilots. It looks like the primary features of this set are a pair of launchable lasers near the front, and what I'm hoping to be a couple of rotating turrets. So overall, I really like the look of the set, and I'm super excited to see the new minifigs inside, as well as a couple of other features that they have going on throughout this tank. So let's just get started. Alright, so it looks like we have 4 bags in total, labeled 1 through 4, and a smallish kind of manual that did not come with any stickers whatsoever. So with everything laid out in front of me, let's just get this sucker built. Alright, so with the set complete, let's move on to the minifigs. All 3 of them look really great, and first I think we'll start with Chirrut Imwe. I'm really hoping that I'm pronouncing his name correctly since I haven't heard it spoken yet, but as this guy spins around, I'm really appreciating the detail that I'm seeing here. I mean, really the only futuristic thing that we can see on his entire torso is some sort of a communicator leading off to the side of his belt. And when we look downwards, he just has a pair of simple black pants, but really that's fine because it was intended to have this really nice looking piece of cloth. And then, having spun him around, I started noticing this cape that seems to be draped over one of his belts. And when we move up to Chirrut's head, we can see that he has a very simple black hairpiece and 2 separate facial expressions, the first being devoid of any human emotion, and the second one having a very slight smile. And Chirrut does come with a handful of accessories, the first being this really long staff, and then his other weapon which appears to be some sort of a bowcaster. And moving on now, we have a pair of Imperial Hover Tank pilots, and spinning them around, I've gotta say that I really love the updated look to the Stormtrooper armor. And zooming in on the front torso section, we can see that that front armor plate has some new angles to it that gives it a more modern look. Moving down so we can see his pants, there's a bit of light printing on the hip, and when we look at the printing on the front of the legs themselves, it doesn't appear to be too high quality. But putting that complaint aside, let's turn over so we can see his back. The biggest change to the back of these Stormtroopers that I've noticed is this box that we can see on the back that looks like a ventilation unit. And when we look upwards to see this new update to the pilot's helmet, we can see that it has a very squared off look, and just generally gives the impression of being very heavily armored. And when we take a look at one of these guys' faces, we can see that it has the same expression that we've seen for years on other Stormtroopers. So now that we've covered all of these awesome minifigs, let's move on to the hover tank itself. So on first impression, I have to say that I wasn't sure that this vehicle was going to have any sort of a visor whatsoever, but it does seem that when we look at the front section of it, the hatch that's angled more closely towards the front of the vehicle has been positioned in just such a way so we have a very wide viewing port, although it is pretty thin. And while we're still at this frontmost perspective, I think it's about time to show one of this vehicle's coolest features. Near the 2 linked laser cannons, we can see a pair of red lasers that can be shot from the tank itself, and they are pretty accurate. The gear pieces, which are hidden quite cleverly if I don't say so, are pretty easy and straightforward to use without compromising on the overall aesthetic of this vehicle. And then both of the heavy laser cannons that can be found on either side of the vehicle look like they could pack a bit of a punch. And on top of that, they can technically be turned around 360. And I do like that at the front as well as the back portions of the tank, we have these pieces which mimic tank treads. And when we move to the back of the tank, it somehow reminds me of the bed of a pickup truck. And on top of this tank's bed, we can see a vibrant orange cargo container. And I do like how they've made it pretty modular so you can move it towards the front or the back of the bed. And speaking of modular, the lid of this container is also pretty easy to lift off, although it does have a rather small amount of storage on the inside. When we open this up so we can see the internal workings of the craft, we can see a couple simple looking brown seats, as well as a couple of red button pads for the driver. Aside from that, there really isn't too much detailing, and I really do wish that they had a targeting computer of some sort on the inside. Overall, I really am impressed with this build. It's a vehicle that doesn't betray the overall aesthetic of the Empire, who've been known for their heavy use of light gray and darker gray. It's a really nice utility tank, and it looks like it can get the job done anywhere, anytime. Alright, so that is it for this video, and as always, if you enjoy our content, you can leave a like or subscribe. I've also put a link below in the description if you would like to buy this set, and thanks again so much for watching. We will see you again here at BrickVault.